What's happening, everybody? This is your boy JC No Hundreds, and this here is the Illogical Sense Podcast, episode number 52. And we got Busby over here waking his ass up.
Yeah, pretty much. What up, everybody? I'm sorry. I had a pretty long weekend. I knew I was gonna have a long weekend, but I didn't expect it to hit. I guess it just hit me like everything I've been doing this past weekend and shit. Well, before I go into my little story, how was your weekend?
That shit was cool. I was laid back, chill, made some money, got some sleep, did some homework, ate. Typical kickback weekend.
That's what's up. Well, for my weekend, last Friday, I went to Kendrick Lamar's Damn Tour in Oakland.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Jessica for the hookup. Not Jessica. Fucking, that's how tired I am. Shout out to Diane for the hookup. I literally just woke up from my nap.
Oh, man. Shout out Diane.
Shout out Diane for the hookup. And I went with my homegirl Jessica and shit. But I saw Kendrick in the Oracle Arena. And, I got there late, kind of. I had to wait for some shit. But got in there, and Travis Scott, man, he needs to go on tour already. When Ye goes on tour, Travis needs to they need to co-headline each other on some Watch the Throne shit. That nigga could put on a fucking show.
Of course.
Just he puts even there, it's just like he was on that big ass bird and shit like that. Like, man, he can put on a show.
I remember 2 years ago when I was like, "Yo, we're gonna go see Travis Scott." Somebody was like, "Oh, I want to see no damn Travis Scott." We already talked about
that, my nigga. We already talked about that.
Yeah. I just want to remind people.
But I thought his shit would have been like better in like how the Warfield was, like a little closed venue and shit. I don't know how it's gonna come off in an arena. Nah, man, in an arena, you get the right people in there. That shit's just gonna be Yeezus on steroids.
Huh.
Like shit. So that shit was popping. And then I didn't see Drum. I didn't really care to see Drum. I'm sorry. But, Kendrick came out, and pretty much it's his Coachella performance.
Right.
If you saw his Coachella performance, you know what you're going to expect. And he, as always, he put on a great show. And he pretty much had the entire arena at the palm of his hands. He's really that good. And when Mad City dropped, my nigga, oh my God, he had fireworks and shit. I felt like I was Kane.
Nice.
And I said this on Twitter. I said it like, every time Mad City comes on in a venue or a club or a house party, it's like a spiritual experience.
Yep.
It's like honestly when you hear when Pyrus and Crips, I literally stop and everyone just looks at each other like we know what's coming. Everybody just looking at each other and seeing like the whole city go against me. Every time I'm in the street, I hear yak 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 yak. Man, that shit was amazing. It's like that. That's worth the experience to see Kendrick, just to hear Mad City.
Yep, I agree.
And of course he did Humble. Of course he did the second verse in the entire arena. Just they sang that whole hook. They sang the whole second verse. And I was like, wow, by themselves. I was just like, this nigga's a shit. This nigga's a shit.
Oh yeah. I'm excited. And we got tomorrow. We got tomorrow night's show. My sister just got into town earlier. So she's in my room kicking back watching TV. But tomorrow night we will be in that thing, and I'm gonna lose my voice for sure.
Well, of course you are. I'm surprised I didn't lose mine. Even though I was drunk, it wasn't as intense as the Pablo show. I don't think I got that drunk. I was drunk, but I wasn't as drunk as the Pablo show. You know what I mean? And my battery didn't die, and I didn't lose my mind like that.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. But I might go to the San Jose show just to see YG. Oh, yeah, because you're going to see YG. You ain't going to see Travis, huh?
No, I'm going to see Travis. I'm debating if I'm going to go Friday night. He's in Anaheim Friday night. I'm debating if I'm going to go.
He's going to be in San Jose on Saturday. Yeah, he's going to be there on Saturday.
Yeah, Friday night's when they start when Travis gets swapped out for YG. So I might go to the show on Friday night. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. Fuck it. It's Kendrick Lamar. You might as well just go. Fuck it.
Hey, I got bills to pay, dog.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You better think about it. Better make choices.
Yep.
Only thing I was kind of surprised about is like he didn't bring out any Bay artists. He didn't bring out E40 or anybody, which I was low-key kind of surprised about because he was bringing out people in Detroit and Chicago. I was thinking maybe he'd bring out E40, but, guess not.
Maybe conflicting schedules. Never know.
Yeah, he'd probably come out in San Jose. That's how it goes.
Right.
But other than that, Kendrick was amazing. The whole show was amazing. I got my mom a shirt. My mom actually wanted to get a shirt. She's like, you think you could buy me a hat or a shirt? And I was like, you're gonna walk around with a cuss word on your chest that says "damn"? He's like, and I was just like, no, I'll see what I can do. And she's like, oh, get the DNA one. And I was like, if I can find it, what? No, but what does that mean? I don't want it to mean anything with a cuss word in it. I was like, no, it's exactly what you think it is. But of course, it meant Dead Nigga Association if she's seen the video. But,
right.
I got the yellow. When you see it, you're gonna see it's like this yellow. It says KL, Kendrick's initials, and in the back it kind of says "damn," but it's kind of all distorted, kind of, and it has all the tour dates.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, and it says "pray for me" and all this other shit. And
pray for me.
Yeah, I never thought my mom would ever wear a Kendrick Lamar shirt, but shit, she loves her some Kendrick.
Hey, that's how you know he's the truth.
Yeah, exactly. So then, after Friday, on Saturday, I had the pleasure of watching Hamilton in San Francisco.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to the Hamilton play, and man, I was just curious because I've heard about how critically acclaimed it was, all the Tony Awards it won, all the Grammys, all that shit. So I was just curious about it. And I was just really curious about the whole hip hop element of it. So I kind of saw the performances and shit like that, but I kind of wanted to watch the whole play, see how it all plays out and shit. So it was at the Orpheum, right? It was me, my mom, and my grandma. And we all went.
Right.
And pretty much the story of Hamilton, it tells the story of Alexander Hamilton, who's one of the forefathers of this country, who helped write the Declaration of Independence, and it was hella cool with George Washington, and helped, with the Treasury and all types of shit. But it tells his story, his kind of up and down roller coaster of a story. But it tells it in a very unique way. It tells it in rhyme, and it's like a regular musical. People are singing, but there's also hip hop elements in it, and they're like rapping too. Mm-hmm. And the dude who wrote it, what's his name? Lin-Manuel, right? I think that's his name. I don't want to get his name. I'm tired, but Lin-Manuel. I saw him. He wasn't there. They had this other black dude there. I forgot his name. His name escapes me. But the show was really, really unique. Like they even got inspired by Biggie, bruh.
Nice.
Like they had, the 10 crack commandments. Where instead they have the 10 dual commandments, and it goes down the whole commandments of when they draw their guns and shoot each other like a duel.
Interesting.
Yeah, they do it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the 10 dual commandments, and it kind of has a beat that's kind of reminiscent of the original one. I heard that shit. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
That's what's up.
And the whole show itself, and they don't get this shit. There was a part in there where like Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson, they had the debate on the Congress about, I guess, the Treasury or some shit. And instead of having a debate, like an actual debate on the floor, they did it by a rap battle.
Wow.
Yes, it was like a rap battle, and they were literally getting at each other like it was some 8 Mile shit.
Damn. I wonder if it's the hottest ticket.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not coming back until, 2019.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. No wonder it was the hottest ticket.
Oh, yeah. And, Obama co-signed it and won hella awards. Hella hip-hop people co-signed it. I mean, it's from what my mom told me, it's in L.A., actually. And I guess this week it's going to be in L.A. So if you can find tickets... That's a big ass if, because these tickets went on sale back in January, and
ain't nobody selling the tickets for less than $50. I ain't going.
Nah, I doubt that.
I ain't going.
Maybe that's probably like $100, and that's probably the nosebleeds.
Well, that's what I'm saying. My budget is $50 this week. If they ain't pushing them for that, I ain't going.
Well, yeah, you might as well not go. You can't find them tickets. I mean, like I was saying that people were trying to go up there to try to buy tickets. I'm like, they're trying to buy tickets? You know where the fuck you at? And it was the final night. It was the final day. I guess we got it for the last day or whatever. But it was dope. The whole show was really, really dope. And I say believe the hype. It's one of the greatest. I call it the greatest hip hop musicals of our American history.
Nice.
And they incorporated bullet time. They made it like a movie kind of. I don't know. They had a rotating stage and shit like that to look at certain scenes a certain way. And they, like I said, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like one of those, you just have to see it to see how they do it.
I think it's easy to explain. You just tired.
Well, I guess. No, it is kind of hard to explain the way they did it. It was dope. That's all I could say. It was just really, really dope. So that's Hamilton.
That's what's up.
So and then after that, I had work and other shit, and just I guess it kind of finally caught up to me. So It's just like, ugh, that's usually how it goes. It's like I need to slow down.
Bad indeed.
Yeah, well, shit's been happening this week. Well, kind of shit's been happening, but I've been kind of ignoring it and shit. So what's been going on, motherfucker?
Well, driving around today, I get tagged and see a whole bunch of posts on social media about continuing with Usher. And I'm like, okay, so what's popping off right now? Go into Twitter, see that his accuser is having a press conference. And I'm like, okay, well, what's this all about? Then I'm reading the comments saying that she's having a press conference to reveal that she doesn't have herpes. And I'm like, okay, so she lied about this then. But in the explanation in her press conference, she's actually still proceeding with legal action for him, I guess, putting her in harm's way. I guess if that's how it works.
What? Whatever.
And then, which I mean, rightfully so. If he does have that disease and he didn't tell her, she still can sue.
True.
And a lot of people were going in on her because she's a heavier set woman. And everybody's like, I'm not believing this. I don't believe it. But I've actually had a lot of women friends over the years tell me that when it comes to serenading women on stage and dancing on stage, Usher does not discriminate. And,
I saw those videos. Yeah, those videos on Twitter.
Yeah, and when people were downing her just for her size, there were some people that backed her up and was like, here's the video. And they actually put the actual video of her being brought up on stage, and he's doing his thing to Trading Places on her.
Trading Places, that song. That song was one of the most questionable songs of Usher's career. Like, why would you make that song?
Yeah, see, when it came out that a dude was accusing him and everybody was acting shocked, I was like, don't be shocked, because y'all must have forgot about Trading Places.
Yeah, I remember that shit came out. I was like, a man, and then it was like, I'm not surprised.
Yep. So there's that going on.
Why people said Timberlake is better than him. So that's another discussion.
Yeah. So, but her name is Quintasia Sharpton.
I said right? Get any blacker than that.
Yeah, Quintasia Sharpton. And of course her attorney is Lisa Bloom. So we'll see how all that plays out. Yeah, that's another page to this story.
He's probably just gonna settle out of court. You know how that shit's gonna go.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh yeah, and also on Friday, Jay-Z decided to keep dropping videos from his 444 album. And he dropped Moonlight. Now, I saw he dropped Moonlight, so, I just looked at it, and all of a sudden, it just popped up on screen, and I just saw Jared Carmichael and Issa Rae, and they're pretty much doing a whole black version of Friends. And they reenacted scenes from Friends, just with black people in it, and I was like, oh, this is fucking genius.
Yeah.
Whole shit, it was fucking genius. They pretty much shut down Twitter, and they even recreated the the intro just with the song.
They recreated Friends. That intro, and I don't even like Friends, and I saw that, and I was like, this needs to be on FX like yesterday. Get it on FX right now.
But the crazy thing about Friends is that they based Friends off Living Single.
Of course.
You know that, right?
Yeah. Living Single was out in what, 93, 94, and then Friends came out a year later?
95, 96-ish.
Yeah. We all know that.
Yeah, okay. Making sure you know that. But, it was genius. And also, when they showed Jared Carmichael, what's funny was that I literally started barely watching the Carmichael show on Netflix. Uh-huh. And that show really is dope. And you know why they canceled the show, right?
Yeah.
The Carmichael show?
Yeah, well, I know why the reasoning of CBS, CBS canceling. NBC, I'm sorry, canceling the show. But we all know why. It wasn't because of their reasoning at all.
Yeah, I have a feeling because of the show's popularity that's growing because it's on Netflix now. I have a feeling NBC's gonna bring it back or Netflix is gonna bring it back. Either way, it's gonna come. I don't think that show's gonna die. They're gonna bring it back.
Somebody gonna bring it back, especially after seeing this. Don't be surprised if people start petitioning to get this black version of Friends put on.
Well, I don't think it's gonna be the black version of Friends. It's it was dope seeing it, and then you see Trissa Campbell. What's her name? Tisha Thompson. You saw fucking Tiffany Bandish from Girl Trip. It was just dope, and it was genius. It really had nothing to do with the damn song. Well, it kind of did.
He tied it in perfectly. It was basically just saying that this is where we are in entertainment, where we could run the same thing, and obviously, like you stated earlier, Friends it's no coincidence it came out right after Living Single, but he kind of just flipped it, and he's like, look, we could give y'all the same script, and it's still, this is what we're working with. Even when we win, we gonna lose.
Exactly, and then when you see this shit, it literally would have fit well. It would have fit perfectly.
Right.
And I was like, oh, wow, this could have really worked with black folks.
It was funny when they, as they were going, they went and took their break, and then Carmichael steps off, and then there's Hannibal Buress. Just, yep. I don't know, just eating just, the shit's whack, man.
Shit's whack, man.
But, yeah, I was bugging out when I first saw it. Man, somebody said it best on Twitter. There was like, every time Kendrick and Jay-Z drop something, it's like watching MJ go at Kobe. Pretty
much. Kendrick and Hove are dropping their best work when it comes to videos, when it comes to their music. They're saying they have they're neck and neck with album of the year. But I remember when I talked to William Ketchum on Twitter, I said, yeah, but don't forget, Eminem and Nas are dropping.
Yeah,
Em and Nas are dropping and shit like that. He's like, oh shit, that is true. And speaking of M, supposedly, I just watched this on Everyday Struggle. I guess, according to Hits Daily Double, M is preparing to release his 9th studio album. I think this is his 9th one.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's preparing to drop it. And we didn't talk about this last week, but Paul Rosenberg is now the CEO of Def Jam. What's your thoughts on that shit?
That's actually a great move. Very, very good move. You have somebody that is very, very well respected within not only hip-hop, but within the music industry as a whole. He's definitely got the credentials. I liken it to the situation with the Lakers when they brought Rob Pelinka in to be the general manager. And for those who don't know, his biggest client was Kobe Bryant. Like it's the same parallel here, where it's like you may not know Paul Rosenberg, but when you say, "Oh, he managed Eminem," it's like, "Oh, okay." Like all you have to do is just say that, and it's like, okay, he gets it, he understands.
And plus, no matter where Eminem went, Paul Rosenberg was literally right behind him. You heard him on his albums,
whether he was whether he was there physically or he was leaving him messages. So he was there.
Oh, he was there, yeah, especially in his interviews and everything. He managed M perfectly. I guess, and now he's going to take over, I guess, January of next year. So the real question everyone's thinking is, what does this mean for Shady? What does this mean for Eminem? And I made some speculation on what I think might happen, and I think that this last Eminem album that's going to come out will be his last one on Interscope.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It's going to be his last.
Everything's shaping up towards that. I mean, really everybody that's been at Interscope during that long tenure, they're for the most part all gone.
Yeah. Dre's doing his own shit and all this other shit. Like
Jimmy Iovine stepped down years ago so he could focus on Apple Music.
Yeah, so I have a feeling that this might be his last. This could be his last album on Interscope, and he's gonna probably bring Shady to Def Jam. And I don't know. Maybe I don't even think Eminem will be like rapping. I think because what's that going to mean? Like, because Paul can't really manage M since he's a CEO and shit.
Right.
So if anything, probably M's going to come in there as a vice president or some shit like that of Def Jam. Like, you know how Paul Rosenberg's CEO, M might become president of Def Jam or some shit like that. You know what I mean? And he might have like another agent by his side. Because at this point, what else does M have to talk about? Like, what else?
Nothing.
Exactly. I said Marshall Mathers.
Just reach a point where there's not much more.
Yeah, Marshall Mathers LP 2 was like the closing chapter. So it's like at this point, what else does he have to talk about? And also on Everyday Struggle, they were talking about like this whole theme of rappers doing mature albums. So I would say Marshall Mathers LP 2 was like a very mature M album for his standards.
Right.
and he did some reflecting on his career. So at this point, what do you want to hear him rap about? Like, what do you expect? What are you expecting from this M album when it comes?
Nothing.
I guess.
Like, I mean, but to be fair, when Jay dropped 444, I really wasn't expecting much either.
Yeah.
You know,
he blew you away.
Right. So I'm not saying that to be like M's over. I'm just saying, you know, compared to what he brought with the last album, it's more so, okay, well, let's see what you got.
Yeah, I think I just don't want him doing them ribbity rap fast shit. Just rap normal, be focused, and from what some certain people told me, some inside sources kind of told me, they saying he sounds focused on certain songs. So
focused man.
His focused man. Tell Paul to holler at me, man. So yeah, we're gonna see.
Definitely.
I went to the movies on Friday too.
Detroit.
Yeah, I don't see that shit. Yeah, I mean, I think I told you about it. Just don't see that shit.
I deal with that content better than you do, though. So, you know, I'll eventually see. Honestly, man, the way it's going out, I'm probably just going to wait till all these movies become available on my Fire Stick. Which is crazy because the movie theaters is literally walking distance from my place, but I just don't feel like paying money. You know, one thing I will say is when you get out on your own. Or get back out on your own. I forgot how stingy you get with money. I'm very stingy.
You got bills and shit.
Yep, I'm very, very, very stingy at this point now.
You got bills and shit. Can't be traveling like that. You gotta like build shit up and all this other crap. Shit. But yeah, Detroit. Yeah, it's just a bunch seeing black folks getting their ass whooped. That's all it is by that guy from fucking We're the Millers. You've seen that movie, right? We're the Millers, the little wimpy ass white boy.
Yep.
Yeah. Even though he's British, which I did not know until I looked him up. Like, oh shit, he's British? Oh wow, I don't know how these British motherfuckers be sounding so American. Those are really talented motherfuckers. And I wanted to see Atomic Blonde, but something's telling me I don't give a fuck about that.
What's that about?
Charlize Theron is like a fucking some shit.
Say no more.
Some shit. She's like it's like an action movie. She's beating niggas' asses.
Huh.
And then Annabelle comes out this week. I'm gonna see that shit. The doll from Conjuring. Yeah. When I was in the movie theater, they had this moving poster that like when you walk past it, like Annabelle kind of follows you when you're walking. It's like, man, don't be doing that shit. And also on Snapchat, they got like an Annabelle filter. That was kind of funny. I was sending that shit to random people.
I rarely do horror movies. Not because I'm scared or anything, but my patience level is so short for idiots. And it's always the characters in those horror movies, they do the stupidest stuff to end up in those predicaments. And I'm like, yo, you deserve this. So
yeah, true. But, you know, speaking of stupid people, let's talk about power. Let's talk about power, bro. These niggas, man, we haven't talked for 2 weeks, and
all right.
I want you to, vouch for this shit.
So we start from this recent episode or episode 6?
Like, what? Because did we talk? Because what happened when Kane? Yeah,
I wasn't on last week, so
you weren't on last week. I didn't mention it because low-key probably would have pissed me off just talking about it. But after everything 50 did. Everything. He ended up saving Ghost and his little boy and killed Jukebox. And said, "See you, little nigga." And I remember watching that shit, and I was like, and then it just rolled the credits, and I was like, what? And then
the funniest thing about that is that that's probably one of the best lines of the whole damn series, and it's so sad because it shouldn't have even taken place to begin with. Like when he did that, the first thing that came to my mind was, you remember that episode of Martin when he woke up in the middle of the night and he caught Bruh Man in the kitchen making a sandwich, and then he just talking to him about having a bad dream, and then he walks out, goes out the window, slams it, and he just looks at him, gives him a head nod, and he walks off. That's exactly what I pictured. We're just catch you around, little nigga. Gives him a head nod, and he just grabs the bag of money and dips, and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, and it was just like after everything 50 did, after everything he did, And that's how it ends. And then when you see the after credits, I was watching it on demand. When you see like the after show, the creators are going like, "Yeah, people are gonna be mad about this, and but this is a way to get the story forward." And my mind's like, "No wonder a woman wrote this shit." No, I'm not. No offense, woman, but no offense. Of course, a woman would write that shit. I thought they would have prolonged this until like the 10th episode or some shit, but no.
Yo, it was so funny too how he realized he was still alive. He's just walking out the club, just all lackadaisical, like, all right, I just had a bad meeting with this dude, and all of a sudden he just comes out of nowhere. Remember me, motherfucker? Like,
yeah, oh my God. Like what? It was like so instant. It was like, oh, so that's how we gonna do this? All right.
Oh man.
Okay.
So that's going on, and then of course Tommy's out of town in Chicago.
Yeah. Ends up killing Holly's dad?
Her uncle.
Or uncle? Because he molested. I was like, what the hell was this talked about? I don't remember this shit talked about in the previous season. It was like
season 2, I think.
You know how far back that is?
Exactly. Yeah, so he gets brought out to Chicago initially thinking that he's getting chosen to expand out to the West Coast. And come to find out, they're ready to do him in until he lets it be known that the dude that set him up knew about him killing Milan and said it was okay. So what does old boy do? He calls out a psychic and pulls her over to the grave and says, "Tell me which one." And then he closes his eyes and you think Tommy's about to go. And in Tommy's final thoughts, it's actually Holly who he thinks about. And in the midst of thinking about Holly, you hear the gun blast and he kills the other dude, the former second-hand man to Milan. They throw his ass in the grave, bury him. So that's what sparks Tommy to go drive to Cleveland. And
of all places.
Yeah, and bash Holly's uncle's face in. That episode was just pure death. Like, everybody died in that episode. Rest in peace to Julio. He's gone. He got taken out in the worst way. Dre's a snake. And honestly, Dre probably going to die by the end of this season.
Everybody got to die.
So Julio got. Who else? There was multiple people that got in this episode. They was just chilling. So then we get to Tariq, your favorite character.
Oh, that's a whole ass nigga. Why'd you bring that nigga up? Can we just talk about when he got hit by the fucking...
Tariq is like 0 for 4, 0 for 5 with lean. Like, every time that boy sips on that stuff, he's knocked out. Like, he is really on a losing streak. And of course, your
Tariq or Issa.
Yeah, and then of course your favorite scene came on. We were like, "Hey, go to my IG story." I go to your IG story, and it's just you just replaying Jukebox, smacking that nigga on the back of the head with the gun like 500 times.
Oh yes, that was so beautiful. I would have sent it to you 500 more times. It would have been an endless loop of him getting smacked in the head over and 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 over. I don't care. Little nigga, I hated that little nigga. As soon as he got, it was just so beautiful how he just how she hit him over the head and how he just fell so gracefully. He was like when Jay-Z got shot in 99 Problems video, just in slow motion, just I remember I saw that. That was so beautiful to watch. I was like, thank you. Not just shoot him in the head.
Yeah, but, so then, and then of course, the grand finale of the ending of that episode was, well, before that, Ghost and Kanan, they go stick up Tommy's place to go get the money. In the process, they end up killing one of those guys. And so, of course, they get to the stash house, and Kanan gives them the gun. And that's when you're like, okay, hold up. Wait a minute. This man done put you in jail. He done burned you alive. And you still got a soft spot for him. Like, all right, for sure. Let's just see how this plays out. And then, of course, Jukebox runs like, she's got everything under control. And they hit her with the ooh-wop. She looks one way, gets distracted, and then all of a sudden Kanan just pop, pop, pop. And then she goes to the ground. And then, of course, this is after she forces Kanan to tell Tariq who he really is. He ain't no dude named Slim. And then he kills her and then walks over to her. Again, the writing is just pure comedy. It's just, stupid bitch, I told you to keep running your damn mouth.
Like, what? Like, what? Like,
and of course, Ghost is hugging on Tariq, and then that's when he picks up the bag, catch you around, little nigga, and then he just dips out like a thief in the night. And then it leads to this most recent episode, when, of course, the aftermath of everything. Tariq is now more addicted to lean than ever, because now he don't know why he doesn't know who to trust. I don't know, but that's his own issue.
No, he's a fucking idiot.
Tommy gets back and gets word of what happened. So, of course, he goes to meet with Ghost. Ghost tells him that Kane is still alive, so now he's freaked out. And then we get, finally, Lorenz Tate pops up. This whole time I thought Lorenz Tate was his cousin. Like they were in a bind and he was going to help him. But turns out Lorenz Tate is playing a politician. And
of all people.
And I am not surprised. That's the element they're going to lead into for season 5, where they're going to try to make Ghost a politician and all hell's going to break loose.
Man, the show's going to jump the shark at that point.
It's going to. Oh, and then you got then you have the detective side, where of course the whole group got reassigned and they've lost pretty much everything. So, of course, Sandoval is trying to prove to Sax that it's now Donovan, the black detective, that did it. But Angela confides in Donovan, saying that it's either got to be Sax or Sandoval. And when Sax goes in there thinking that it is Donovan, Angela opens up the door, Donovan's there, and they all come to the conclusion that it is Sandoval. They have the video proof that shows he was the one that walked up.
And planted the gun and everything.
Yeah. So you got that, and then Tasha out here screwing around once again.
Third time. This is the third nigga?
Yep.
This is the third nigga.
Ghost, Sean, and lawyer nigga. I don't even know his name.
I forgot that nigga's name. Don't matter. When she kissed him, I was like, of course she gonna cheat on him. Was she gonna cheat on him again? Like, just... Oh, man. And that means Ghost is gonna go back and fuck Angela again. Everybody needs to die on this show. All these niggas are idiots. It's like now it's getting to that point now where I thought one person was stupid and two people, maybe like three. Now it's everybody. Everybody's dumb. Everybody's dumb. Everybody need to die, but Tariq needs to die first. Fuck him. Him and Jaguar.
You got that going, and then on the
not really.
On the business side of it, it seems like 50 is starting to beef with Stars.
Oh yeah, he's been saying that shit on Instagram, and he's gonna try to bring it to BET or some shit like that. Maybe he's just using it as leverage or some shit. I don't know.
Right.
Probably wants more money.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I would not be surprised if for season 5 you saw this show on a different network, particularly HBO.
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. It's better on Stars. And another thing I want to say on here on this podcast is everyone on Twitter, y'all need to just get over the fact that people just spoil the show. When it gets on demand, it's no longer a spoiler. Everybody knows. If you have Stars on demand or the Stars app, when it hits midnight on Saturday night, Sunday morning, whatever, when it hits midnight, it's available everywhere. So you should watch it and just stay off the timeline.
Yeah, if you got a problem with that, just get off social media. Like it's a very simple concept.
And if somebody spoils it for you, oh the fuck well.
Yeah, it's not like you weren't gonna know.
You were gonna find out either way. And it really wasn't no big-ass spoiler for this. Just Tasha cheated again. What else is new? Nothing really happened in this episode.
Right.
If you really think about it, nothing really happened. I don't know what's going to go on. Like, I feel like they blew their load in the last episode. It's like, okay, so...
I mean, you got to remember, we were still focused on the main plot, which was, of course,
he was in
the
jail.
St. Patrick family in this recent episode. But they did lay some good jewels, because then you have... You have Han from Fast and Furious approaching Proctor, letting him know that I know you know something. Which, of course, a few scenes earlier, Ghost was telling Tommy that, Proctor's not their lawyer anymore. And because Tommy's a hothead, he may have put them in a position where they got to take care of Proctor. So that at least opened some drama for that angle. And then, of course, the detectives are now figuring out what everybody has known since, the end of season 3, which was it's Sandoval. And so, I mean, there's some good setups. And again, I was looking forward to Lorenz Tate's appearance. I like the fact that he's a politician, because that lets you know what they're going to try to do for the story arc involving Ghost.
We're gonna see. We're gonna wait and see.
But I know why you upset. You don't like Tariq.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. That's pretty much what it is. But speaking of upset, I've been telling you for the longest time you need to start watching Insecure, dog.
I'll get to it eventually.
Because going on the timeline, because I had some free time. Because every time I watch Insecure, I watch it after the fact, after it airs live, and I just go on HBO on demand or HBO Go and watch the episode. Well, yesterday I had the privilege of watching it when it's live, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna watch it and be on the timeline. And man, the split between men and women when it comes to the situation between Issa and Lawrence is really astounding. Women really just feel a type of way about this damn show. They really get triggered, especially with Lawrence. Now, Lawrence, again, like I told you, he was working hard.
I already know. I know that. It's just because I don't watch it don't mean I don't know what's going down on my timeline.
I know, but it's just crazy because this one lady just left. Because what happened was that he was with Tasha, the chick that he was fucking after Issa cheated on him and shit. And they've been fucking, and I guess they were quote unquote dating, but I guess she was starting to take it serious. So she told him, like, oh yeah, can you bring some chairs for the barbecue or whatever? And he had this little job get together that he kind of wanted to go to with a bunch of white women. So Lawrence was just like, oh, okay, I have this thing I got to do. So he shows up and brings the chairs, and all the family's saying hi to him and shit. And he has this look on his face like, shit, why am I meeting the family? I'm just fucking her. That's all I'm doing. It's nothing serious. So then he says, like, yeah, I'll be right back. He's like, yeah, I'll be right back or whatever, right? Like, I'll come back. So he goes to the job. He goes to the little job function, and he kind of gets wasted, and he kind of just bails on her. So then she calls him, and he's just saying, like, yeah, I'm sorry, I kind of lost track of time. And she was like, why if you didn't want to go, you could have just told me, da-da-da-da-da. And then Lawrence was like, yo, I'm just going to be upfront with you. It was nothing serious. I didn't want to lead you on or anything. It just was nothing serious. And then she got all fucking mad, and she was all going like, well, I knew what it was, but you started acting like it was serious. And you know what? You a fuck nigga. You a fuck nigga that tries to act like a real nigga or some shit like that. And that kind of low key triggered me. You're a fuck nigga that tries to be like a nice guy or whatever, or some shit like that. And then he kind of just looks at it, hangs up the phone, and just goes right back into the party. Like, oh well, oh well. Yep. You know, and it was just funny seeing how women reacted to that. It's like, oh yeah, Lawrence represents all the guys on Twitter that says, oh, I'm really a nice guy, but in reality, you're really just an asshole and all this other shit. And I'm just like, damn, a lot of these women acting like the victim right now because I guess this happened. It happened to them before. And it was just interesting just seeing all that shit go down. They were really triggered. And even I got caught up in the argument because at the end of the day, Issa was the one that cheated on the nigga.
Yeah, so
at the end of the day.
So I've heard. You know, it is, man. It's just men and women alike. Everybody likes to play victims when it's convenient for them, but then they want to hold you accountable when there's nothing in it for them. So
exactly, they want to hold you accountable for a situation that they created. Right.
So I mean, it is what it is.
But then at the end of the day, I'm getting caught up in it. Then I just sit back and I'm like, this is just a TV show. This is just a TV show with fictional characters that I do not know in real life, but the situations are real to these people. So it's really intriguing. Really, 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 really intriguing. Right. So, yeah, that's, Insecure, that's fucking Power, and all the shit that's going on. And the NFL season is pretty much starting. The preseason is pretty much, I guess, started on Sunday. Did you watch the preseason game with the Cowboys? Who did the Cowboys go against for the little Hall of Fame game?
The Cardinals, and it wasn't Sunday. They actually played it on Thursday.
I wonder why I didn't watch it. Yep. How was it?
I mean, backups playing. Shout out to my boy Bryce Butler. He has some nice catches in that mug. Cowboys won 20-18, but I mean, ain't much stock to put in it. It was backups. I mean, it was cool for the most part, especially seeing this class of honorees getting put in. Still bittersweet because that Terrell Owens was either supposed to be in last year or this year at the very minimum.
Yeah, and bullshit.
But LaDainian Tomlinson, that man's Hall of Fame speech was, man.
We old as fuck, bro.
That was some pure emotion and just, man. He was telling the story about how he wanted to go to this football camp but his mom didn't have enough money, and it was Emmitt Smith's football camp. And he was like 11, 12 or 13 at the time, in between those ages. And it got closer to the time, and his mom pulled him aside, was like, hey, remember I said I couldn't afford the camp? Well, I've been saving up, and I got money so you could go. And
surprise, nigga.
Just the way he described everything, he was saying at that age, he was just a kid that really lacked confidence in himself and his abilities. He said just at that whole camp and just interacting with Emmitt Smith, it changed me. And it put me on a path that, here we are years later. And he was going into great detail with a lot of things. And it was, I've always had a lot of respect for LT. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Of course, Jerry Jones, he was all flash and spectacular. I was watching Bryce's snaps from the night before. And Jerry had no problem footing a $15 million party that included Justin Timberlake performing. So they was out partying.
Oh, in the bag.
Yeah, he threw the bag, and they had a celebration. So they was out partying. I was very surprised to see that he invited Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was actually in attendance, considering that
they
situation.
let bygones be bygones, I guess.
Which pissed me off more, because I'm like, Jimmy Johnson really should be in the Hall of Fame too. But that's a whole other story for another time.
He will soon enough.
So, everything about the Hall of Fame was cool. And then, of course, now we're getting into this week when the first wave of preseason games start taking place.
Who your Raiders go against?
They're in Arizona this weekend. I'll probably tune in for a little bit, but... I
don't know who my Niners are going against. Yeah. I kind of doesn't matter. Well, it kind of does. I'm curious because at work today, like one of my coworkers / friends was telling me about how he's kind of excited for the Niners, and he has the 49er app or whatever. He's told me I should download it, and I was like, "What? So I could piss myself off?"
Oh man.
He's like, no, man, Brian Hoyer, man, like, you gotta look at him throwing them bombs. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, catching over our defenders. Yeah, that's gonna be Tom Brady doing that to us. Yeah, I know.
Oh man, just I know. Just relax. It's all good. But
no, it's not.
But speaking of the NFL, obviously the biggest news.
Which one? There's a lot of big news.
Well, the biggest one that pertains to, obviously, the biggest news of the whole last year with the NFL that has little to do with the actual playing of the game. The Miami Dolphins opted to skip Kaepernick and they went with Jay Cutler.
Now, unretired his ass.
Now, initially, I was like, ain't that a bitch? Like, this is proof that he's getting blackballed. But... Mm-hmm. The more I was thinking about it, the more I was listening to some qualified sports analysts and reporters. You might have to put this one on Cap himself.
And what do you mean?
Remember when they played Miami last year and he wore the Malcolm X Castro shirt?
He was always wearing that shit, though, a lot.
Right, but you got to consider the fact that 34% of the population in Miami is made up of Cubans. And there are plenty of Cubans who have gone on record as to saying that Castro is their version, is pretty much to them what Hitler was to the Jewish people.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And from that aspect, you really can't say much because you're like, okay, yes, on one hand, they may be blackballed, but on the other hand, you actually have a fan base that was really, and even then, they were offended at that. They booed him throughout the game. Obviously, he was a 49er at the time, so they had every right to boo, but those boos were coming from a more rooted, hurtful, a victimized place. And I can't fault them, because, I understood what Kaepernick was trying to say, but I fully understand what the community is saying as well. I mean, if they're going to compare a man to Hitler, there's really not much that's going to, supersede that. Now,
sounds like an excuse.
Now they start losing games going down the road. All that stuff goes down, and they're in the middle of a playoff hunt. I guarantee that bygones will be bygones, and they'll do what they got to do if Kaepernick's still around. But for the time being, they got Jay Cutler, which was funny because a lot of people who have been anti-Kaepernick have been saying, "Oh, he's more focused about activism. It seems like he doesn't even care about football," and Jay Cutler is pretty much the epitome of the quarterback who just gives off the appearance of not caring.
Fuck.
And
he just gives
the
fucks.
funniest thing is in his presser today to announce he's coming out of retirement and he signed. So he signs with the Dolphins, 1-year contract, $10 million. He's eligible to get another $3 million in incentives if he completes those. He comes out and he says, "Hey, I play quarterback. I don't need to be in tip-top shape or position." And I'm just looking at that like, that's who Jay Cutler is. But even going deeper into that and even deeper than just Kaepernick, let it be a quarterback of color that makes that statement and see what happens.
Yeah, that's what he got. Yeah, he would have gotten hella blackballed and all types of shit.
So Miami
we talk about Ray Lewis's old
Miami went that route. Last week, it was revealed that the Baltimore Ravens were interested.
I thought they still are.
Well, this is where it's going now. So John Harbaugh, Jim's older brother, and then Ozzie Newsome, their general manager. Reports were they were on board, they were ready to go, but it was their owner who was holding them back. And the owner was, supposedly bringing up the fact that, hey, I don't know how fan support's going to go with this. And one of the persons that he ended up bringing in for counsel was Ray Lewis.
Oh, this bitch ass man. And he pretty much said, no, don't bring him to the team. In a nutshell.
And obviously, for those who know the situation with Ray Lewis was charged with the double murder, beat the charge, revived his career, went on to, build up a Hall of Fame career and rode off into the sunset. The confusing thing about this, though, is that you have Michael Vick, who fought and killed dogs, and then you have Ray Lewis, who was being charged with killing 2 people. And these are the ones that people are siding with as far as giving their advice on what Kaepernick should do and what he shouldn't do. Which says a lot because it's like, yo, these guys were actually in court fighting for their freedom. Mm-hmm. All Kaepernick did was exercise his right and his freedom. And you're now saying that he's actually below people who were accused of committing murder and somebody that murdered dogs? Like, that's what you're saying? So, of course, then it brings up this whole spiel. Ray Lewis then gives his accounts on, at this point, you've done what you need to do. Just let your play talk. And one person who didn't take very kindly to Ray Lewis's...
was his former Ravens player,
Shannon Sharpe was one. They had a big old debate on the Undisputed. Shannon Sharpe was getting fed up because Ray wouldn't answer any of his questions directly.
Mm-hmm. You hate that shit.
Oh, yeah. So that was that. But the person I was actually speaking of is Colin's girlfriend, Nessa. And Nessa took to social media and put up a picture of Samuel with Monsieur Candy from Django, and below it was a picture of Ray Lewis and the owner together. And
pretty much, that's the best way to describe it.
And while funny, and in my opinion somewhat accurate, that pretty much killed any more communication or any hopes that Kaepernick was going to be with the Baltimore Ravens. Because, of course, they're going through a situation where the owners, again, he's asked if they want fan support. And I don't fault Nessa for doing it, but really at this point, it's one of those things where it's like, yo, if can't do that if you want him to be a part of this franchise, you know what I mean? Like, that's it can't go that way. So I thought it was funny.
It was funny because he told the truth. And at this point, preseason's about to start. He doesn't have a team. He's pretty much blackballed.
Yeah, he like I said, it's without question. It's going to take some quarterbacks getting knocked one too many times, and they're out for him to get a job. I mean, and if he doesn't, what he's going to end up doing is he's going to be that martyr that gets all these bums paid. If you think about it, because they're literally trying to scrap and pull anybody ahead of Kaepernick to fill this backup position. And that means that you're going to have to be looking at the likes of the Christian Ponders of the world, the Kyle Ortons, and, the RG3s. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if it ain't one thing is another, if he doesn't get signed, he's definitely raising the value within the market for mediocre to bum quarterbacks. And that, to me, it's hilarious.
It is funny how everyone's saying they're going to boycott the NFL, but I'm just like, I'm going to boycott that shit.
My thing is I support people who want to boycott the NFL. I definitely support it. With my history and being in line for a position for a company that will be working with the NFL, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to boycott, because to do my job, I would need to watch the games.
There's too much money that's getting poured into the NFL right now for people to boycott.
Right. So, I mean, again, if people say they want to boycott and they follow through with that, my major salutes and props to you. My only thing is I've stated I will be watching, because another reason too is professional sports has proven to be a very lucrative business for black and brown brothers and sisters when you factor in the money that women make overseas. Overseas women are queens, and especially in basketball, soccer, and all those sports, they get love overseas. So professional sports has been very lucrative, and it's a messed up situation because I fully understand, and again, I support it. You want to stand behind Kaepernick. He's shown he's worthy. He's a worthy person to stand behind and give support to. But I'm also looking at the overall big picture as well, and you do that, you're taking away from those who do stand with him, but they're on teams. They got jobs to do.
They got bills to pay. They got families to feed.
And I know for the common citizen, they're like, oh, well, I don't care about a person making millions of dollars, but it is what it is. So my thing is, if you want to boycott, you got my support. Just don't bring that hypocritical talk to me and my direction, because I'll put your ass in your place real quick. Like, that's. This is my background career-wise, and there's no way I'm not going to be able to go through with a boycott and expect to possibly keep a job that I'm in line for. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we're at with that. Basketball's heating up pretty soon. They'll be in training camp next month for basketball.
Damn, that quick, huh?
Yeah. I hate to say it, but my second favorite player in the world has been really showing some bitch-ass behavior.
Kyrie?
No.
Or LeBron? I mean, what else is there to say, man?
I really hate to say it.
He's been showing whole-ass nigga behavior, especially what he did with his son at the basketball game and shit like that.
Yeah, so one of my homeboys, shout out my brother, Jason Maples, he coaches... a 16 under AAU team, and they went out to Vegas for their tournament. Well, he's got either a friend or a couple friends that coach the Oakland Ballers, which is a 13 or 14 under team, and they ended up going against Bronny Jr.'s team. And from what everybody was saying, the Ballers' standout player was giving Bronny Jr. that business on the court. And the word is that LeBron then stopped the game, went to the refs and the officials, and said, I want to make sure this kid is really under 14. So he's calling out for his ID, his birth certificate.
That's some whole ass nigga shit.
Yeah, and
man.
I'm just looking, I'm like, for real? Like, this is what we doing? And if it was anybody else that was telling me this, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it'd be like, okay, I get it. But my dog is just as credible as me when it comes to giving out, revealing stuff from good sources. So when he was telling me this, I'm like, that's that whole ass shit I be talking about. I guess he gets in his own way. And then he's doing the subliminal stuff with all these Meek Mill songs on social media. And it's like, 2 weeks ago, everybody was calling Kyrie the idiot and the bad person and the one that was being disrespectful and disloyal. And 2 weeks later, it's
LeBron.
Yeah, it's like Kyrie ain't doing nothing through social media. I mean, the most you could bring up with, oh, well, he was there egging on Steph Curry when Steph Curry was making fun of him. It's like, well, what you want him to do? Be in the video for the wedding and then just try to disappear and dodge out? Like, he wasn't the one dancing or doing that. He was just there having a good time. Just so happened that it was at LeBron's expense. I mean, what you want him to do? And,
pretty much.
And for those who keep constantly bringing it up, oh, you got a good thing going. That's, to me, it's the same thing like being in a relationship. Just because it's perceived that everything's good and fine on the outside doesn't mean that's the way it is behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, the thing is when Kyrie signed that extension, that was 4 days before LeBron announced he was going back home. So in Kyrie's mind, he signed the extension to have his team.
Yeah.
And granted, he's had great success, 3 straight finals since LeBron's gotten there. So again, it's can't argue with the success. But at some point, when it all boils down to it, a man's got to be a man. And he brought up a great point. It can't be all of this when they're winning. Oh, LeBron is a great orchestrator. He does everything. But when they lose, it's, oh, LeBron needs help. He needs this. He needs that.
Yeah.
When those same people 2.5 years ago were the ones saying that, well, the Cavs only lost in 2015 because they didn't have Kevin Love and Kyrie. So it's like, okay, well, you can have it one way. Pick and choose which one you want. Because either they lost in the finals in 2015 because they didn't have Kyrie or Love, or they lost in 2017 because Kyrie and Love just weren't enough. Like, you can't have it both ways. Which way do you want it? And
pretty much.
And honestly, that's one thing I don't like in terms of LeBron stans. Like I said, I'm a LeBron fan. You know what I'm saying? The stans are the ones that they will ride for this dude regardless. And I can't get with that. Like, you're allowed to say that this man's at fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, LeBron has had some shortcomings. He's human. You know what I'm saying? He's not a mythical god. He's human. But this, honestly, it just reminded me, just on court and off the court, why when the question always gets asked, I always tell people, LeBron is a freak of nature specimen. That's a person that you would dream that they would manufacture in a lab and make clones out. But if I'm starting a team, give me Kobe. Give me Kobe. Because I didn't have to worry about Kobe going to social media doing, little petty shit like this when he didn't get his way.
Bro, yeah, because he just let his game talk.
Right. And shout out Kobe. Kobe went on social media, made fun of himself, saying he's got a dad bod now.
Because he retired, man. Let that dude be fat.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, he gave us 20 years of magic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it just but in Kobe fashion, he goes on Twitter and is like, challenge accepted. So he's challenged himself to drop 30 pounds. What the timeline is, I don't know. Frankly, I don't care because Kobe's always going to be Kobe to me. So it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But I spent all day Saturday. I came across the last 6 or 5 minutes of his final game in a clip on social media. And, of course, it touched my heart, and I got emotional again. So I went on YouTube. I spent the next 3 hours just watching Kobe clips.
Oh, God.
It was wonderful, man. It was beautiful.
You're in the city of angels, man. You're in La La Land, Laker Town. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, so, other than all that sports shit, and some albums did drop last week. Like, Vic Mensa's album dropped, but, we didn't really talk. Me and Lamar didn't really have time to talk about it.
Shout out Lamar for holding it down last week.
Oh, yeah, shout out to
Should
Lamar.
have said that a long time ago, but...
Yeah, well, I was tired.
Yeah, but it's all good. The autobiography by Vic Mensa, I was not expecting what I heard. It was very, very well put together. As I told you, the standout track on that project was Heaven on Earth. Yeah. Where it's the song where he writes to his slain brother. He writes him a letter in the first verse. The second verse is actually from his brother's perspective in heaven, writing him back. And then it takes just an off-the-wall turn in the third verse when you actually get the perspective of his brother's killer. and all put together, it was a very beautifully constructed track. Like there was a lot of emotion, and I really that song stood out to me that entire week. Like that one was that's what true musicianship and penmanship is about. Is finding something that just evokes concrete emotion, whether it's pain, happiness, or anything in between. Like that was a powerful song. So of course that one stood out. Homewrecker with Weezer was a good one. I really like Gorgeous with Sid. Vic has a really good chemistry with the internet. The band, the internet, not the internet in general.
Yeah, I know what you
right, but I just had to clear it up. Just people looking at me, what the hell is he talking about? And then of course he has, these Chief Keef features. They're really starting to hold some weight. Like every time he pops up now, I'm very interested in how he performs.
Really?
Yeah, because you think about it. Really, the first one that was like kind of random, but it worked so well was when he was on Rodeo with Sway Lee.
Oh yeah,
and that one he did great on that. And there's a couple others I've been listening to, and I'm just like, every time he pops up, I'm like, I'm actually interested to see what's going on with Chief Keef. I don't want to hear a whole project from him at this point, but just he kind of opens up the curtains, let you know he's still there, and I'm like, what's popping with you? And Down for Some Ignorance was that was good. It was a good track. And then of course Wings with Pharrell and Saul Williams was good. Overall, it's a good project. I liked it.
And what was there was another album that I listened to. Man, my brain is just like blah right now. Another album that came out that we listened to. What was his name? Adnis?
Amine.
Anine.
Good for You. Yeah. The Good For You album. Yeah, so Amine.
The Good For You album.
Amine was probably the, in my opinion, the most deserving to be on that XXL freshman cover this year. He has the track Caroline, his single that caught some good buzz. Even got Beyonce's attention and put it on her fucking. And this album was a really, really fun listen. Like it was like a nice summertime album. Yeah, it was upbeat. It was I guess if you want to compare him to an artist, he's kind of like the more free-spirited, dirtier version of Chance the Rapper, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I know what you mean. You know what I'm saying? Like where Chance is more well-suited in uplifting the community in God and in the church. And that's not to say anything negative about Amine. It's just he's more secular with it in terms of I'm just gonna party. I'm here living life, and of course his album cover is of him ass naked on the toilet taking a deuce. So it's that's just the best way I can describe it. But he had Ty Dolla $ign on there, Nelly, Offset from Migos, Charlie Wilson, and Kehlani. And nothing sounded out of place. Everything flowed very well for my liking. Of course, Caroline was the single. Veggies with Ty Dolla $ign, I really like that one. That Charlie Wilson track was pretty dope too. Yeah, Dakota. Yeah, that was dope. He's getting a lot of pull. He's getting a lot of pull lately. Like not pull, but just like a lot of like promotion. Yeah, like he's getting billboards all over LA. Getting Beyonce giving him a cosign, taking pictures with what's her name, with Obama's daughter and shit like that. This dude, like I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's like a fucking what's it called, industry plan or whatever. But he's making the right moves, man. So yeah, he's As far as the best way to describe him, he's definitely a prospect right now, but he's definitely got a lot of upside to him. And this was a very good debut. I was glad to hear it. Really good debut. Yeah, I give props. And then this past weekend, we got another offering from the ASAP mob. This time from ASAP 12 with his album 12, and I gotta tell you, man. Yeah, I didn't listen to it because, like I said, this whole weekend has been kind of a blur. I haven't had time to listen to shit. So I got to tell you, I listened to it a couple times today. I ran it through this morning, and then I ran it through about an hour before we went on air. And this is just 90s East Coast nostalgia. Like, just the feel of it. Me and you, we some West Coast cats. You know what I'm saying? So the bias is always going to be there. But above all else, we both just love music in general. And to me, this was like listening to a smoothed out version of The Infamous by Mobb Deep. Like it really just had that. It was gritty, but it wasn't over the top gritty. You know what I'm saying? Like you knew he grew up in the projects, but it wasn't anything like he was trying to sell you on, I'm a hard nigga, this is what I do. It was more so, this is where I came from, and this is how we get down. And it has 2 skits on there. Actually, the first skit is actually featuring Fredo Starr, who plays a character, pretty much the homeboy from around the block, you know what I'm saying? Saying, big ups to you, but I gotta wait for us to get this money. And that's the second track, and then it just leads into a strong flow of songs, man. There's 14 tracks altogether, 2 of them are skits, so that there's 12 songs. There was maybe only 2 songs I wasn't feeling off of this. So he's a 10 out of 12. That's, you break that down into another fraction, that's a 5 out of 6. Like that, I really enjoyed this album. I'm gonna be playing this for a while. It's got some good replay value. It's not long. It's not even a 40-minute album.
It says like 45 minutes, right?
It's not even 40 minutes. It's like 39 minutes.
Oh wow! Okay.
It gets straight to the point. All the features hit. Joey Badass gives a dope ass verse. And then you remember the film Sunset Park?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He flipped this one around and they turned it into ASAP Mob. What time is it? It's time to get loud. It's time to represent. He went and flipped that joint around, and it is one of the smoothest tracks you will probably hear this year. Like I was expecting for them to push Nast at this point, but 12 he held it down, man. Like this is honestly one of the. It's probably going to compete for that sleeper album as far as hip hop's concerned. Because I mean, you have Kendrick, you got Jay-Z. Joey Badass really didn't come out of nowhere because everybody knew it was coming. It was hyped up. He did what? I think he did 100,000 the first week, didn't he?
Ish, yeah,
somewhere around there. So I mean, it didn't catch anybody off by surprise.
You had Big Sean, you had the Wale,
exactly.
You had all that.
You had all the big names. This one has the quality of a big name, so don't be surprised if this starts popping up on end of the year lists. Like, I'm not saying it's going to compete with Damn and 444.
It's probably going to be in like the top 20.
Right,
maybe.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like it's a really, really well put together album.
Yeah. Okay, I take your word. I'm probably going to listen to it after we do the show and all that. But that's pretty cool. Like, music has been kind of just like, besides that.
Yeah, everybody's getting ready for the fourth quarter.
Yeah, like I told you that. It's like there's been like a drought kind of. After Hove dropped, it's kind of just been bleh. Just a lot of blood music lately. So I think right now, everyone's waiting for M. I think he's the next big one. M and Nas. M and Nas are the next top 2. Or maybe Kanye might come out of nowhere and shit like that. Who knows? It's just, summer's winding down, fall's coming in, more concerts. So
yeah,
we're gonna see. Let's see what else. What is that? Oh yeah, what else? I've been reading a lot lately.
Interesting.
Yeah, niggas can read.
Yeah,
I literally got done reading Charlamagne's book, which was a really good read. You should read that whenever you get a chance. Kind of tells his whole backstory.
Okay.
His whole backstory about how he got into radio and how and his mindset when it comes to certain things. And I've always respected Charlamagne for just keeping it real when it comes to shit. He can come off as an asshole.
Of course.
Of course, he comes off as an asshole, but it's just who he is. He has the tendency to get under people's skin by just keeping it real, and you know me, that's who I am, kind of.
Yep.
So, and he drops a lot of gems in there about how to deal with situations, and about being spiritual and being black, and it's a really good one, Black Privilege. And then another one I read, shout out to Ariani, she pretty much put me onto it. It was a book called A Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's by Mark Manson. And pretty much he's giving you like a lot of life advice on not to give a fuck about certain things, or what to give a fuck about, or what not to give a fuck about. So it's like barely over 200 pages. Like you could probably finish it in like 2 or 3 days if you're really into it. But it's a really good read. That's a really good read. I've been like reading a whole lot lately.
Yep.
So like, yeah, it kind of opened my eyes to a few things too. So you don't give a fuck. Everything kind of just falls. Everything kind of comes to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I remember back in high school, in middle school, I was always obsessed with trying to be like the popular kid and shit like that, and always trying to like fit in and shit like that. But then, like, I think around sophomore year, junior year, I kind of just stopped caring about what people felt about me. And literally when I stopped caring, that's when people came to me.
Right.
So, that's usually how it goes. So, that's just like a little reading material y'all should just look into whenever y'all get a chance.
I feel you on that. I'll definitely be taking that up. I got now my 4th course in class, and I have put a streak together of 3 consecutive courses with an A.
Hell yeah!
Actually, not just an A plus in all 3 courses. I'm very...
Oh, shit.
For those who... A lot of you who don't know.
A lot of y'all niggas don't know.
A lot. Like, I only told this to a select few, and you were one of them. I used to have nightmares about going back to school.
Shit.
Like, legit as, like... This was obviously during my tenure with the Raiders. Like, I would wake up in the middle of the night probably at least once every other week, just having a nightmare. Just like I was turning in papers late, not even doing papers at all, not doing projects, just struggling, wasting all this money, and it was just like it really put this fear in me. Like I don't think I could go back to school, man. Since I've been back, I made a pact with myself. I told myself I was not getting anything lower than an A- on any project. I'll be damned if up to this point I have not gotten anything lower than an A- on any project. So
good for you, bro.
Just it was a matter of just letting all that fear go and just making the jump and just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Not letting it hold you back. So them nightmares, of course, have stopped since then, and I'm having a ball. And now this 4th course is we moving into music theory.
Ugh,
sounds interesting. So I actually get to put that MIDI keyboard that I got with my tech kit. We're gonna start putting that to use this course.
Shit, and also what we've been doing this weekend, I guess we've been me, Jerome, and
Hilton.
Oh boy, Hilton. Yeah, we've been trying to plan our vacation, our little
Hell
guys'
yeah.
night out vacation, our guys trip. After I've been looking on Twitter and seeing Caribbean, what the shit that's going on in Canada right now, in Toronto with all that shit. Yeah, I gotta go to that shit.
Oh, that's where we're headed. Exactly 1 year from now, we is headed to. We got the passports ready, everything's set. We are going to Toronto for Caribbean 2018. Oh, yeah. It's a done deal.
Yeah, after seeing those videos, I have some friends up there in Toronto. Like,
shout out Mr. Sticks.
Yeah, shout out to Sticks. Yeah, I gotta go to this shit.
Yeah,
I'm seeing all the thickness. I see all the thickness. I'm seeing what Rihanna's looking like up there right now. It's like, man,
I'm so excited for it. I'm inclined to blast Drake all damn week that I'm there. I'll just put it out there.
You're in his city, so of course you have no choice.
I mean, I'm talking about not listening to anything else. I saw the thickness and I was like, hey. Hey. I definitely need a one dance. Got a Hennessy in my hands. You know what I'm saying?
See, when you got to listen to one dance, you really do have to have a Henny in your hand.
You do.
That's crazy. Every time I'm at a bar,
it's historically proven.
Every time I'm in a bar and that song comes on, I literally have something in my hand and the chick is dancing up on me. So that's kind of like, thank you, Aubrey.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I'm known as the Aubrey. I was known as the Aubrey hater, and now on Twitter, I'm the Nicki Minaj hater.
Of course,
that's some shit.
Yeah.
I was like, well, the truth hurts, motherfuckers.
Definitely does.
I don't know. People need to handle the truth more often, or maybe the way. No, it doesn't matter how you tell it. Charlamagne gotta tell you, motherfuckers need to start living their truth. And this is Nicki Minaj's truth. She's trash.
Oh yeah, but people don't listen because they have all their hopes and dreams put into celebrity figures, and they get lost in the sauce.
The sauce, yeah. Well, I think Nicki's starting to grow a brain because now she's siding with Cardi B because Cardi B has the hottest record of the year with Bodak Yellow. I don't know if you've been in the club or vicinity.
They started off trap karaoke with Bodak Yellow, and that motherfucker knocked.
Man, I put my homegirl onto that song. She fucking loved it. It's just, you can't fuck with me if you wanna do. Bad bitches, this is wanna do. Like, come on, man. And I don't know how it is. I don't know why. It's just so damn fucking catchy.
It's catchy as hell.
Does it.
Her flow is nasty.
Yeah, and then I guess videos are popping up of Nicki, like, singing along to the song. And I'm like, oh, so you're smart now. You're growing a brain. Yeah. I still feel she's gonna diss her. I really do feel she's still gonna diss her. But
it's up in the air. It's definitely up in the air.
Oh yeah, I'm just adding to the pot, because Busby don't bullshit. I always end up being right about some shit. I hope I'm wrong because Nikki can't. Nikki's stupid. She's basic. So. No, so it is what it is.
You're not gonna get us any more listens this week with that talk.
It's the fucking truth, man. No one's listening to her shit anyway.
Oh man, yeah. Speaking of that, it's no wonder why she didn't have a verse on Future's recent single. I was actually.
Yeah, she did.
Did she have a verse? I just heard the hook.
Yeah, she rapped on that shit.
Oh, well,
it's trash.
Maybe that says a lot about her rapping these days because I didn't even know she had a verse. I listened to that whole song and I couldn't even remember that she had a verse.
Exactly. The verse was trash, man. The baddest, it's called The Wackest. And I guess Future added it at the last minute. He's been adding songs to Hendrix or whatever.
Yeah, he's doing them Kanye
updates.
upgrades.
Dude, Kanye updates, yeah.
Software updates
to Hendrix. Even though people feel that Hendrix is the better album, surprisingly. They feel Hendrix is the better album, but what's another song? Speaking of, I guess Future's self-titled album actually went platinum recently, so
good for him.
Good for him. Got a little platinum plaque that he has to pay Rocco for,
right.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm watching Raw right now, and Bay's on the screen right now.
Hell,
Nia Jax, man, shit. I don't know if you saw her Instagram a few weeks ago, but she was twerking and shit with that big ass booty. Oh Lord, they had the boomerang thing, so you saw that shit rocking back and forth. Man, she man, take her down, man. Shit. Speaking of
just pass me Naomi. That's all. Just pass me Naomi. I'll stay on SmackDown for that.
Yeah, but that's all the Usos, man. That's the Usos shit.
Yep. They know.
They know. Oh shit, man. But yeah, we're winding down right now. I'm kind of getting my energy back.
No, you're not. You're going back to sleep.
I sure the fucking am.
Don't lie to the people.
Yeah, shit. Sometimes you gotta lie. You gotta put up a front sometimes. Shit. Yeah. Anyway, this was episode 52. 52 of the Illogical Sense podcast. I don't know what I'm going to call this shit. I'm probably going to call it I'm tired.
Something.
Let's call it something. I figure it out the way. Yeah, I need a nap. That's a good one. I need a nap. With me just laying in bed. That's what it's called. Yeah, because everyone needs a nap.
Yep.
Shit. But yeah, this is episode 52 of the Illogical Sense podcast with JC saying bye.
Everybody, we will catch you next time around. And
we
good to go.
Of course. Fuck Jed York. Whole ass.